You're listening to English with Monty, the podcast about the English language. Today is 8-Minute English, talking about using stative verbs in the continuous form. Hi there, welcome to 8-Minute English, and we're going to talk about a nice episode today with Gideon. We're going to talk about stative verbs in the continuous form. Do you know anything about this, Gideon?
Hi, John.
Hi, yeah, I didn't say hi. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, fine. Haven't heard from you for a long time.
I give you continuous phone calls every day. I mean,
This grammar point that you're talking about, yes, I do. Stative verbs in the continuous form.
so you know quite a bit about it. So a state verb, maybe we should start off with that. First of all, what is a state verb?
In a way, it's easy to find the opposite. I don't know what the opposite is. An active verb. Verbs that you can use with ing. I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm walking, I'm speaking, things that you can do in the continuous. But some verbs describe states, and you don't usually use them in the continuous form with ing. So you say, for example, I hear you, okay? I see you. I smell something strange. So these sort of the senses and a few other verbs of opinion. I like this. I hate this. These you don't usually use with ing, and I stress usually. There are exceptions, and I think we're looking at exceptions today. Or some verbs have two meanings. The meaning's slightly different when it's with ing than when it's used as a stative. That's what we're doing, aren't we? Is that the definition?
That is what we're doing, yeah. I mean, I suppose maybe we should start off with then things like see then, for example. We're using a bit of a prop here on BBC Learning English, and they were saying, you've got two examples. They are seeing their cousins tomorrow, and what do you see on the wall? So I guess those two obviously have different ideas and different meanings, don't they, really? Seeing your cousins tomorrow, it's about visiting them, isn't it? Whereas what do you see on the wall? It's like, what do you notice with your eyes?
Exactly. To see, the ability to see, the ability to use your eyes to visualize something. That's a stative verb. I see something strange when I look out the window, another example. And yeah, to visit, when see means to visit, you can use it with ing. I'm seeing Tom tomorrow.
Exactly, yeah. It's about visiting, really, isn't it? As an idea in a continuous form. Did you want to bring up another one? I mean, mate, you're talking about senses.
Actually, if it's okay, I'll bring one which is not related to senses, because common, which is not actually on your list, John, that you sent me, because I think is usually a stative verb, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Often a stative verb. I think I'll go out and get some fresh air. I think this is a good idea. Usually it's like that. It's a stative verb. So opinions, you use think like that. But when you're using think as an intention, use it with ing. I'm thinking of buying a new computer. I'm thinking of changing my job.
Exactly. You're thinking about at that moment, but it's like you've been doing it for some time, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It's the idea of intention rather than opinion.
That's the main difference, isn't it? So think on its own is about opinion, and then this about intention. No, it's a good example. One that they've come up with here, so going to senses. So I don't hear the music playing. So that's obviously with your ears, you can't hear it. Whereas our manager will be hearing our presentation today, which means that he will be listening to it. I mean, again, that creates a bit of a difference, doesn't it, with the meaning?
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
That's the key, though, isn't it, really? With stative verbs, it's changing the meaning when you are putting it in the ing form, really, isn't it?
Shall I give one more example?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I'll take from this list you sent me, John. So the verb to feel, you use it, again, meaning to think or your opinion. I feel that you have said something wrong and you should apologize. The senses, it's also without ing. I'm touching this and it feels kind of strange. This feels strange. There's something wrong with the fabric. So then it's used as stative verb. And you can also use it as an active verb to mean your health. When you talk about health, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling fine.
This is an important one, isn't it? It is about health. And we would always use that, wouldn't we? I hadn't really thought about that. Typically, that is a common expression, isn't it? To say, how are you feeling? And it's like, yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel fine.
There's a very subtle difference between how do you feel and how are you feeling, I think, isn't there? If someone's is sick or has been sick recently, you might say, how are you feeling today, wouldn't you?
That's very true, isn't it? It is much more about health, isn't it, in that respect? Whereas if you say, how do you feel? It's like, what are your emotions like, I guess?
Yeah.
What are you thinking at that moment?
Exactly.
Okay, I like that one. So yeah, smell would be another one. That perfume smells good. Again, I think this is quite similar to the feel one, isn't it? So it means it has a good scent. It means it smells nice. And the boy is smelling the flowers. So it means that he is sniffing them in that moment. Yeah, it doesn't talk about how good the smell is. It's just what he's doing, right? It's his action.
Exactly.
Were there any other ones here that stood out for you?
For possession, you have the possession. Of course, there's a stative. I have a big car, John, big expensive car. But you can also use having, which means you having a shower, having lunch, having a drink. So you can say, I'm having lunch today with my best friend. So you can use having as well.
True,
it's not for possession, it's not for ownership.
It's not about your Rolls Royce. It's about having lunch. So typically eating, isn't it? Or drinking, I guess. But you could also say having a conversation.
Having a rest.
Having a shower.
Exactly. So a lot of actions they take have something. Instead of a verb, you could use the verb to, I'm showering now. It sounds a bit straight. It does exist, but not many people say that, do they? I'm having a shower. Americans say taking a shower.
Yeah.
I'm showering.
We don't tend to say I'm showering, do we?
No, we don't. I'm lunching. I'm luncheoning, wouldn't it be? That's the verb.
I'm luncheoning.
Nobody says that, do they?
Maybe King Charles says that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very old-fashioned.
It is.
Dining.
Yeah.
I think it's very rare. Sometimes you hear dining.
It's quite a formal expression.
I'm dining out, having dinner out. It just sounds quite old-fashioned if you insist upon it.
Well, it's true. I mean, if you want to sound a bit more formal, it does exist, doesn't it? And a bit more posh, isn't it, in a sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I like this one. The new baby weighs 3 kilograms. So it means her weight is 3 kilograms. The woman is weighing the apples. She is measuring their weight.
Exactly. To describe a weight, you use a stative verb, but the action of weighing, that's an active verb.
I guess those are quite straightforward, aren't they, really? There's just one more maybe that we could look at.
What's that?
Look. I don't think we've done look, have we?
It could use look as well. Again, you're using your eyes as a stative verb to describe the senses. You look well and you look tired. So to talk about somebody's appearance. But the active thing of watching something. I'm looking at you, John.
You are. Now. It's quite intimidating.
Looking out the window.
Staring into space.
Staring into space, yeah.
Looking at the rain outside the window can be very therapeutic, potentially. I think that's about covers everything. Do you want to mention anything else?
No, that's fine.
Excellent. Thanks for joining me. You've been listening to 8 Minute English.